Hi friends, I'm over here. I'm at the library and I came to pick out some really cool new fun books to share with you for Friday Family Storytime. I'm super excited that you're here. Should we read some of these books today? Let's get started by shaking out our hands and warming them up so that we can wave hello to each other. Are you ready? We wave hello like this. We wave hello like this. With all our friends at story time, we wave hello like this. Hello! It's so good to see you again. It's really fun to be in the library because there have been a lot of changes. Can't wait till you can see the bright blue floor that we have in this room. It's really, really pretty, and we have some new carpet out there too, which is fun and exciting. But let's read some of these books. Here's a new one. It's called Rabbit, Rabbit, Rabbit! And it's written and illustrated by Lorna Scobie. Look how cute they are. I love these rabbits. Uh-oh. But look what I see here. Whose tail is that? Can you tell? Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit! There it is. I am the only child in my family, and that is the way I like it. Can you see the pictures? The fox next door says she likes having rabbits around, but I can't see why. Why would a fox like having rabbits around? The fox says, the more the merrier. I like having everything to myself. My flower, my carrots, my stretching area, my bedroom. Like her bedroom's down in a burrow. But my parents have some news. Suddenly, I am no longer an only child. There's another bunny. I no longer have everything to myself, destroying my flower, eating my carrots, napping in my stretching area. In my bedroom, I have to establish some rules. This works well. Your side, my side. Until... It doesn't look exactly even, does it? Let's see. My parents have more news and more and more. Oh my goodness. Something has to be done. Look at all those bunnies. Holy moly. Then I remember the fox. Would you look after these rabbits? And guess what the fox says? Gladly. Yes. Uh-oh, is that a good idea, friends? I don't think that's a good idea. It's just me, and all this space. Just me? I go next door. Would you like to come in too? The more the merrier, says the fox. Okay, I guess. Let's see what's in the fox's house. Lots of bunnies in there. And much to my surprise, what could it be? What could it be? Oh my goodness, it is fantastic. Oh, it was none of the terrible things I was thinking. They're having a party. So it really was the more the merrier. And I was so suspicious. Cute, cute, cute. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. All right, the next story I have is about a sock. It's called Sock on the Loose. And it's written and illustrated by Connor McLaughlin. It's cute too. Sock on the loose. Socks come in twos, snuggled up in your shoes. They give your feet cuddles when you splash in puddles, and they warm your small toes whenever it snows. Once back inside, it's time to get dry. They go for a wash, then for a spin, now off to bed, tucked in with its twin. Looks like before they go in the wash, they're a little bit smelly. At night, they sleep tight, matching pairs in a row until, wait a minute, oh no, where did the other blue sock go? Where could it be? Did it run away with a moose? Sneak off for some juice? Whatever happened, it's a sock on the loose. You think he went away in a hot air balloon? It's possible. Let's see. Perhaps just like you, it has things it must do, or maybe this sock wants to explore the great big world outside of its drawer. I think he wanted to go to the desert or to the art museum. So it's off to a place where nothing is stinky, no heels, no toes, and no little pinkies, no pairs, no matching, just freedom and fun. No wonder this little sock's on the run. And look, it's not the only one. Fuzzy Sock wants to polka with Dot. Old Sock learns how to tie a bow knot. Sport Sock finds a new pair of heels. Striped Sock splashes around with some seals. There are so many things a sock can do when given the chance to try something new. Surf a big moon wave, explore a watermelon cave, try a new look, learn how to cook. I think a sock can learn how to cook. After days of fun and lots of adventure, Blue Sock is sleepy and starts to remember its friends in rows so tidy and neat, and the comfort of snuggling your little feet. It seems Blue Sock is not on its own. Some of its friends also want to go home. Striped Sock misses its other half. Old Sock needs a hot bubble bath. A Sport Sock wants a sneaker sole. Fuzzy Sock feels like a nice long stroll. Fuzzy Sock. You see, a sock on the loose has been known to come back, so don't lose hope if you can't keep track. Through the door and over the floor, Blue Sock might return while you snore. So the next time a sock is not on its shelf, don't worry. Don't worry, because why? It's just finding itself. It's funny, it's on a great adventure. Very cute. Well, you guys, I know a rhyme about toes. Maybe you know it. My toes are inside shoes. Ugh, can you see? But we could use our fingers. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef, and this little piggy had none, and this little piggy cried, wee, 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 all the way home. Maybe later when you take your socks off to give them a hot bubble bath, you could do that on your toes. Okay, should we read another story? Here's one I have. It's called 48 Grasshopper Estates, and it's written by Sarah DeWall and illustrated by Erica Medina. 48 Grasshopper Estates. Cicely Bridges, there she is, lived at 48 Grasshopper Estates. In all her years there, she had never seen one grasshopper, or, come to think of it, any grass. That was all right with Cicely. She could make them herself. It looks like she's working on something there, sitting on the stoop. Cicely Bridges could make almost anything. When she needed a snack, she made chocolate chunk cookies with mint swirls. When it was too quiet, she invented a trumpet. When she was scared, she created a dragon with 7 tails that could terrify even the most fearsome closet monster. And just in case that didn't work, she knew how to make a getaway boat that could sail right across the ocean. Wow, lots of creativity. Well, sort of. It turns out it's not the ocean so much. It's a puddle. Imagination. On Thursday morning, Cicely's mom tiptoed to the side of her bed, skirt swish, forehead kiss, and off to work she went. Soon the smell of Mrs. Rubenstein's oatmeal came wafting in, and with it came ideas. A lake submarine, a unicorn castle painted aqua and pink, and best of all, a spaceship that could take her to Mars with a built-in supersonic sandwich maker, of course. They were splendid ideas, and as the sun rose, Cicely jotted each one down in her notebook. At 7 o'clock came a knock at the door. Rat-a-tat-a-tat, tat-a-rat-a-rat-a-tat. What will you make today? Asked Mrs. Rubenstein. Cicely scanned her list. Lake submarines were on the small side, but they still needed at least 2 crew members. A unicorn castle would be spectacular, but how would she defend it all by herself? And a supersonic sandwich maker would be perfect for her trip to Mars, but even she might need help eating all of those sandwiches. Cicely added one more thing to the list. An excellent choice, said Mrs. Rubenstein, and she left Cicely Bridges to her work. And the thing on her list was a friend. So look, she's collecting some materials and getting to work. Cicely made a fuzzy friend, a freckle-speckled friend, and a friend with 4 very fine toes. Toes again. She gave one friend suspenders for his 2 big pants, and for another she made glasses that were as red and round as Mars itself. Cicely made a friend with ears so big he could hear snails talking at the bottom of the ocean. Well, sort of. You can see all the things that she's been working on. Do you see somebody in the hallway? At 12:30 came a knock at the door. Rat-a-tat-a-tat, tat-a-rat-a-rat-a-tat. Have you made a friend? Asked Mrs. Rubenstein. Several, said Cicely. Would they like some sandwiches? Asked Mrs. Rubenstein. You know, it's the strangest thing, said Cicely. These friends all prefer soup, but I'll take a peanut butter and cheese if you don't mind. An excellent choice, said Mrs. Rubenstein, and she left Cicely Bridges to her work. Cicely gathered and sorted and painted and glued. She made a checkered friend and a polka-dotted friend and a friend with 3 perfectly placed ponytails. For one friend, she made a ruby-rimmed crown, and for another, she made a hat as yellow as a field of sunflowers. Cicely made a friend with arms so long he could water flowers on the moon. Well, sort of. And what's going on there on the bottom of the page? At 2 o'clock came a knock at the door. Rat-a-tat-a-tat, tat-a-rat-a-rat-a-tat. What wonderful friends you have made, said Mrs. Rubenstein. But Cicely only sighed. They'll never make it to Mars, she said. They're all afraid of heights. Oh dear, said Mrs. Rubenstein. Do you think we ought to bring them down to the 1st floor? It's no use, said Cicely. Maybe none of these friends are good friends for me. She joined Mrs. Rubenstein at the window and peered down. There, on his balcony, was Mr. Clipper of apartment 8, wearing his pajamas and eating a bowl of soup, said Cicely. Suddenly, she knew just what to do. Are you paying attention to what's happening in the pictures? Rat-tat-a-tat, tat-a-rat-a-rat-a-tat. The door creaked open. What do you want? Growled Mr. Clipper. Would you like a friend? Asked Cicely. Oh, what? Asked Mr. Clipper. Cicely picked up a friend with glasses. A friend, she repeated. Mr. Clipper frowned. Does he like tomato soup? I'm afraid that's all he eats, said Cicely. Well then, said Mr. Clipper. He tucked the friend with glasses under one arm and firmly closed the door. A perfect fit, said Mrs. Rubenstein. For the rest of the afternoon, Cicely Bridges delivered friends to the residents of Grasshopper Estates, and Mrs. Rubenstein helped. It turned out Mr. Corbin knew a thing or two about suspenders, and Mr. Driscoll had need of a friend with big ears. To Mrs. Stelpstra they gave the freckle-speckled friend, and when Miss Stavropoulos caught sight of a certain yellow hat, she was reminded of a field of sunflowers. Mr. Boxham's window box was not as far away as the moon, but the long-armed friend was a first-rate flower waterer all the same. Well, sort of. In no time at all, the cart was empty, and Cicely felt a bit empty too. And here comes the other kid, looking a little frustrated. Rat-tat-a-tat, tat-a-rat-a-rat-a-tat. There, on the other side of the door, stood a boy with very striped socks. Can you believe it? Socks. Pardon me, said Cicely, but are you going to space? I was planning to, said the boy, but I'm afraid my blaster offer is broken. I just might have an extra one of those, said Cicely. Where exactly are you going? Mars, said the boy. An excellent choice, said Mrs. Rubenstein. Do you have room for one more? It was the perfect fit. Do you think she's making a friend? Well, sort of. There isn't a lot of space in the box. She made a friend. That's what she set out to do. I like that story a lot. And here's one more. It's called The Best Place in the World, written and illustrated by Peter Horacek. All right. Let's see if there are any socks or toes in this one. Oh, I don't know if there will be any socks or toes, but there are definitely rabbits. Hare and his friends, the rabbits, were sitting at the top of the hill. They were looking down at their meadow. The meadow was beautiful. Do you think this is the best place in the whole world? Hare asked his friends. Of course it is, said the rabbits. It's the place where we run and play together. But surely we can run anywhere, said Hare. The rabbits didn't hear him. They had already started running. What do you think? Hare asked his other friends. Is our meadow the best place in the world? Definitely, said Bear. But why? Asked Hare. Because of the bees, said Bear. And where there are bees, there is honey. I love honey, and most of all, I love sharing it with you. But bees and honey are everywhere, said Hare. Hare saw the little birds. What do you think? He said. Is our meadow the best place in the whole world? Yes, said the little birds. But why? Asked Hare. It's surrounded by trees, said the little birds. We love singing to you from high up. But there are high trees everywhere, said Hare, and he went to ask Duck. This is definitely, oh my goodness, you guys, the light went out. Help! Oh, there it goes. I stayed still too long. This is definitely the best place in the world, said Duck. But why? Asked Hare. I like swimming in the stream, said Duck. But there are streams everywhere, said Hare. Still looking for the answer, Hare visited Owl. Do you think our meadow is the best place in the world? He asked her. Owl didn't answer. Instead, she said, You have asked us all this question. Why don't you explore the world and find out for yourself? The next morning, Hare left home and set off to look for the best place in the world. He soon found himself walking through the most wonderful fields and orchards. The rabbits would like running here. Maybe this is the best place in the world, said Hare. He saw gushing rivers and waterfalls. Duck would love swimming here. This could be the best place in the world, said Hare. Hare climbed the mountains. It is so peaceful here and it is so high. I know the birds would love it, said Hare. Perhaps this is the best place in the world. Eventually, Hare reached the sea. The sun is like a pot of honey, he said. I know that Bear would love it here. This must be the best place in the world. After traveling all over the world, Hare came to the desert. He lay down and looked at the stars above. He thought about Owl and all the beautiful places he had seen. He felt lonely, and suddenly he knew the answer to his question. He jumped up and ran through the desert, over the hills, up the mountains, across the fields, through the woods, all the way home, because the best place in the world is where your friends are. And that's the end. Well, friends, thank you for reading books with me again. Books? Did I say one book? Thanks for reading books with me again. I will see you all again next week on Friday. Take care. Bye.